All right guys, it's Jared from Vancini Conversions. Today we're going to be taking you on a pretty unique van tour. This is a collaboration build. Vancini x Overland Interiors. Overland Interiors did all the custom cabinetry work and we did pretty much everything else. Plumbing, electrical, all the exterior. And Branded Wraps did this amazing wrap on the outside. It's freezing outside. You guys probably, a lot of you guys watching this video right now probably recognize this build. For those of you who don't, the owner of this van is Chrome. He is a YouTuber for 7-8 years. I might be wrong there, but he's also been full-time van life in a previous van, a Ford Econoline, for 6, 7, 8 years. I don't know the exact stats, but he knew exactly what he wanted, and we built it to spec along with Andy from Overland Interiors to hopefully have his dream van that he'll live in for another 8 years. So we'll take you on this tour. And we'll start with the outside because I want to get inside to a nice warm van because it is freezing. There is 1 or 2 exterior things not done on this van yet. On his way back home out west, he is getting a custom roof rack put on. And there's going to be 6 lights on the front of that rack. What you see on the front here, this van is decked out with Strands lights. So mounted on this bumper here, you have 2 Strands 7-inch lights there. You have the 2 hood lights. You also have lights within the bumper, and you're gonna have 6 lights up on the roof. This is the Flatline Van Company winch bumper with the fair lead as well. Gonna go through the exterior accessories. Standard on most of our builds. You went with the black Rhino rims. You got the KO3 BF Goodrich tires, 275 7017. You got a lot of Terra Wagon accessories. So you actually have the front Mondo mudguards, the rear Mondo mudguards, and their new fender armor there with a bit more aggressive look on the front, and the factory ones in the rear. Looks really good, ties everything together. And then you have the Arrowhead spoiler up on the front of the hood up there. The pods here, you decided to go with the Van Speed capsules. We've actually recently switched over to them, been using them a lot in our builds as well. Love these things, it looks amazing with the wrap. And on the back door here, we got the Flatline Van Company ladder tire carrier combo to lug around that spare tire. A few more things before hopping in here. 30 amp shore power plug. And again, up on the roof with that custom rack, he's gonna have a custom solar array, 6 lights on the front. It's gonna have another 6 exterior lights. We created a pretty sweet project box, essentially light box with quick connects on the roof to allow 20 plus lights on this rig to be ran. He also has the pneumatic cooling X3 Helix edition on the roof. He has a skylight and he has a pneumatic arc fan. So it's a packed roof. Starlink as well. He has the Starlink Gen 3 12 volt conversion kit by Trio Flat Mount. So the roof is decked out. The final piece will be that roof rack when he heads back out west and visits Stoke. Let's take you inside. This will probably be one of the most unique vans you've ever seen on the inside. All right, we're gonna jump on in this van. One of the cool exterior accessories, you obviously got the GFI receptacle here. And you have this nice, cool, my hands are freezing, pull out table here. That flips down, nice flush work surface. That is done by Andy at Overland Interiors. A lot of cool thought went into that. We're gonna talk about all the materials used in this build before we get into all the cool accessories and the general layout. We got our standard clear cedar ceiling, plenty and plenty of light strips here. We got a lot of the upholstered wall panels. There's a nice marathon tweed. On the floor, we went with the lawn seal flooring. I believe this is the Lawn Ridge pattern. Like it, it's grippy. He does have 2 dogs, so that's really good for them there. Believe it or not, these are heated floors I am currently standing on, and we'll get to that a bit later. When it comes to the cabinetry, it's a mixture of bamboo and some laid up, some nice matte black laminate, so very durable there. All the cabinetry work, CNC work was done by Andy at Overland Interiors. Countertops used in this rig are the 1/2 inch, don't know the exact name, but went with the darker black Corian, which is really nice. Brings everything together and try to keep the theme, a lot of black accessories, and just tie everything together. I think it came out beautifully. It is a sweet, sweet rig. Starting with the front kitchenette area here, you got the standard flip up countertop extension there. You have a nice sunken 2-burner induction cooktop. Right over on this side, you got the nice Corian insert cutting board. You can move that to the side. He has a nice deep sink here by Tech Van with the pull-up faucet, which is really nice, and we don't want to use that. You stow it away, and you put on your insert, and you have counter space. So valuable counter space is not being wasted there with the sink, and plenty of storage. You come down here, just loads and loads of storage. Another cool feature, notice, is all these doors are actually lined with laminate on the interior. That is a very, very cool feature. It brings everything together. I love it. Again, lots of storage. You have these little cubby spice racks here. One on the top, one on the bottom. And plenty of deep storage, pots and pans. Use every square inch of this. This whole area is probably one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a van build, and is very specific for the client and his job. So he is a full-time YouTuber. That's his job. A lot of hours spent editing on videos, and he actually used to be an ex-DJ as well, and still does enjoy doing it in his free time. So this setup is solely based around that, and it is very, very cool. Before I kind of explain some of the tech and all the specs, first thing you'll notice, this is at desk height, seating height. You come over here in this van, you click a button, and you want to start DJing or not sitting down to work. You are now standing at working height. You can be standing here and doing all your editing. I'm not a full audio tech head, so forgive me there. But you got two speakers up top. You got two full, I think 10, 12-inch subs down below. Mac screen with the MacBook Desktop Pro computer here as well, mounted up here. So there's a full workstation here. You got this nice backlit, this is the actual desk, and this is a PPF wrapped kind of smoked plexiglass. And when you remove this section here, you take that off and you got your full, again, I know absolutely nothing about this, but you got your full DJ setup here. This is absolutely insane. When you're done with it, you put the cover back on, you put the nice plexiglass cover back on, and you got yourself your workstation. You got the nice color changing RGB lights there, all kind of built in. And you have nice wire management. You have some nice storage on the side. You can store your mouse and keyboard over here. This is very, very cool. This monitor is actually through bolted on the base, and you can strap it in here. There's two mounting points. This is definitely a statement piece of the van. This is sweet. Over here you have your nice overhead shelves. Again, very cool design pattern here. Storage, plenty of storage up there. Slam them shut. You have a little side shelf. Again, all just the kind of accents and fine details tying this together with the black laminate, the exposed edge of the bamboo. It's a little clone shelf, little catch-all shelf there. And we'll move kind of toward the back of the van, and we'll explain the rest. Before moving on to this power section here, an insane control center. It looks like a spacecraft. Mentioning all the stuff in the ceiling, we kept in this nice black L-track along the ceiling for mounting of essentially different things like cameras, GoPros, your iPhone, getting different shots. Again, he is a YouTuber, or just hanging of things, different lights. It's very useful to have. Up front here is the Pneumatic Arc, the black Pneumatic Arc Black Edition fan. Right over my head here is the pneumatic cooling air conditioner, the X3 12 volt, and then is the skylight over the bed. The fan and the skylight also have integrated lights. And if you want to talk about lighting zones in this van, there is overhead lights, under cabinet lights, toe kick lights, lights within the desk, lights in the fan, lights in the skylight, two sets of lights in the garage. There's lights everywhere. There's enough lights. And on the exterior, that's a whole different story. There's 20 plus lights. A lot of things going on in this control center. I'm gonna really try to run through it. You got the touchscreen up here for the Rixson system. He has the Rixson's heater for the forced air heat, heated floors, currently warm toes right now that we're standing on, and hot water. That is what this screen does here. This screen you guys all know, love, and recognize is the Victron Touch 70. It tells you everything that is going on with your power system. We have a lot of draw right now. Everything's on, blasting away. He's pulling 40 amps. Batteries are 64%. This is a cool screen to have. Again, you guys know the whole deal. He has Starlink on the roof, so we can connect to this and see what's going on with the system, troubleshoot it, reboot it. It's really handy. This is one of my favorite things from Victron. Coming up here, these are all the light switches. Again, I won't dim them because it'll mess up the camera, but 3 dimmable zones. And then coming down here, you have things like your Starlink for your internet, your water pump, and then various other lighting zones as well. We also have a spare switch here. Moving on to this guy here, and this is, I think, one of the first vans to ever have this on the market, and it is game changing when it comes to the audio industry for van life, RVs, and that whole world. So this is just a control unit here. There is a very over-engineered amplifier underneath in the electrical system that can have up to, I want to say 14, 20 inputs when it comes to speakers. This is the control center, and there's a lot of wiring involved, but very simple when it comes to installation. So this is the controller for 4 speakers and 2 subs within the van. So you have the 2 subs underneath. You got the 2 speakers in the overhead pillars that are actually made by Go Code. They make these blobs, they call them, that you can upholster, and speakers go into those housing. And we also have the 2 speakers in the rear door. Go Code Overland is the supplier and manufacturer of this sound system kit. The very cool thing about this is obviously you can use your Spotify, Bluetooth, you have a sweet off-grid sound system. This whole sound system is integrated into the factory Mercedes sound system. So when you shut off the vehicle while you're driving, you don't have to use the crappy factory sound system. You can use this one in the rear. It all connects seamlessly. It is very, very cool. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. This is the first van we've used one in, and I think plenty more to come. The final screen in this control center is mounted right here down below. It's made by Nomadic Cooling, the same makers of the air conditioning, Nomadic Innovations. What this does is this is essentially a hub for all their accessories and kind of other accessories. We're not using this to its full capability. You can use this for switching of different lights. What we're using this for at the moment is he will be getting an awning, a pneumatic electric awning, which can be controlled by the screen, and it has lights on the awning itself, which can all be controlled here. He has 2 security cameras, internal security cameras in this van that can be controlled by the screen. You can also control the air conditioning by the screen. Meanwhile, everything I'm discussing can also be controlled by an app on your phone. So the cool thing about this, obviously you can control it by your phone, but the screen's also just a nice hub. This van's always gonna have internet, and you can see stuff like your local weather, the time. You have your switches for all those accessories I just talked about. You can kind of connect your own Spotify to it. It's like a cell phone that's live within your van and has a lot of cool integrations, video intercom for the cameras. I think it has its own kind of camera built in. There's a lot you can do here, and this will just be a cool hub to kind of wake up, check, and then also control your systems. The big one is he has dogs, and he'll be able to control his air conditioning remotely and check the temperature inside the van. All right, this section here, you might be thinking, what the heck is this for? This is dog stairs to get into his bed. He has 2 dogs that aren't super tall, so they can't jump into this bed. So this is their version of getting up into bed, while also keeping plenty of this cubby storage that is accessible from the top. You have the big one down here. And you also have this very cool pull-out step here. You would pull out, and step on that, and you still have storage under there. Plenty more overhead storage all along this side, keeping the same design up here in the front, or sorry, in the rear as we did in the front. And yeah, we kind of turn around and we have this monster of storage section here, floor to ceiling. We kind of start with the top up here. You open this up, more clothing storage. Everything is CNC'd out internally with a honeycomb pattern for breathability, kind of keeping the weight down. And you can't see it, there's stuff packed in here, but there's a lot of access to things. Like up in this corner here is where there's a lot of electrical components mounted on this side. We'll show you there. Over here, he has this nice little coffee making section with his Keurig plugged in there with its own CNC'd holder, power bar up there. Plenty more storage with a 2-tiered shelf in there. And then you have this very cool designed, it comes with the face, Breville oven with plenty of ventilation on the sides, a lot of depth in the back for it to breathe. And again, a lot of breathability within the cabinetry. You have this little ledge here, your beer ledge, perfect spot to kind of rest that down. And I think the thought process behind this was this fridge is one of the deepest accessories here, and we didn't want to push everything out. You want to keep it tucked in. Andy agreed as well from Overland Interiors. And this creates just this kind of cool ledge, helps you get in and out of bed. And it's, yeah, you can throw your phone, you can throw your drink. It actually is pretty handy there. And then this section down low, you got the Rixon's system here. So these are the two vent face plates that are adjustable. You have, again, more storage, cubby storage. You have some of the biggest pull-out drawers known to man there. It's gonna be your big pot and pan drawer. And again, you have nice storage down there for toilet, pee jugs, all that fun stuff. A lot of storage. And then right here, kind of central of the van, you have the Iceco fridge. It has a nice, decent sized freezer up top there, plenty of storage. And you have the kind of control here where you can adjust the temperature and see the temperature of the fridge. This is a very cool feature. All right, now we'll talk about the pass-through door going to the garage. Again, beautiful, but also with purpose for ventilation. When you open this up, you'll notice, well, there's not much storage there. There's a big pull-out drawer. The cool thing is there's another Iceco chest fridge that is hinged both sides, so you can access from inside and outside. Obviously, it's not the easiest access in the world. I would have to lean under here. The handle's right there, and you can open it up. The cool thing about this is he'll primarily use that as a freezer, and both of his dogs are on raw, so he can access his dog food. I mean, that freezer would fill up in a second. That is a huge, huge raw dog food storage center, storage freezer that he can still access from the inside. On a cold day, rainy day, you don't have to go out the back, pull out the drawer just to get it. So that's a very cool feature and a cool fridge. All right, I got Maddie up in the bed. We're filming the bedroom of this van. So again, you'll notice all the upholstery, kind of making it a bit more cozy instead of leaning against wood. This is another kind of secondary control center here, and I'll explain a lot of this stuff. He has a Caframo fan, the Sirocco fan 2, mounted here. And then also one right behind Maddie, so plenty of ventilation. And then mounted on this wall, this is gonna be the 4-camera security system. Again, it's not installed because we're waiting for the roof rack, but the screen's mounted, the wires are ran, and the wires are up in the roof, just ready for those cameras to be mounted to the rack, plugged in, up and running there. You have another little USB, fast charging USB-C here that you can turn on and off if you're not using it, save that little bit of power. You have a big cubby down there, again, a catch-all beside your bed. And then these lights here have to do with outside. So these lights are actually going to control all the perimeter lights. It's nice to have access to. You're in bed, you hear something, you turn it on. And then the perimeter lights also have daytime running. So they have an amber and a red light. And that gives you access to that switch there. Very high-tech van. A lot of cool features that add, I guess, that extra luxury and what-if scenarios. Like, this is a pretty cool backup to have to be able to access some of your exterior lights from in bed. Also tucked in that corner there is the Rixon's thermostat. So where you're sleeping in bed is kind of where you want the van to be taking its temperature, and that's tucked in that corner right there. Rest of this section, again, you have the 2 speakers in the rear. You have the nice deep sleeping space east to west with the van speed capsules. You have these dimmable, adjustable reading lights here with on-off buttons and more USB charging at the bottom of them to plug in. At the back side of the bed there, you have 2 storage cubbies, plenty of storage. You can open those up, a nice stuff fall, kind of your dirty socks and underwear. You can use them for anything. And again, having access to those back door panels, you have these custom-made back door storage panels. I forget the company. I will put it in the B-roll. I think they're Van Moon. Go Code Overland sells them again, and that's a nice, plenty of storage from your bedroom area. Right above the bed while you're sleeping is the skylight with a built-in kind of bug screen, built-in lights as well that you can access, quickly turn on and off just as your night light. Cool thing is too, you'll be able to climb right through this skylight and onto the custom-made roof rack with walkable solar panels. Everything in this van has been thought through meticulously, and I think it all came together amazingly. One thing you'll notice that's very cool, on the bunk windows and the van speed capsules on this van, Branded Wraps did an amazing job in the full vehicle wrap. On this section of glass, it's perforated wrap, so you cannot see in, but from in the van, you can see out. So that's another cool kind of security feature. Yeah, looks pretty sweet. Before we leave and I show you the garage custom-made overhead shelf up here where he stores his window covers. And there's also a plug up here for his Dyson vacuum. So that's where its main hub and where it's going to live the rest of its life. So again, good use out of this overhead space. All right, we will end this off with the garage. Again, this is packed, loaded. He was living in a rental van for 3 months while we were out here building this. So he's bringing a lot of stuff back, but it's a good a good display and shows you kind of what's going on in here with the big pull-out drawer. You got the nice Vandermoon storage panels in the lower section of the back door here, all packed, stowed away. I believe you can get these in custom colors, one with the gray theme. We'll start with the plumbing side here. You got your outdoor shower. You got your fan for ventilation, temperature controlled fans, and the plumbing and the electrical system. You got your water fill there. And then moving on to the electrical side, you got 2 light switches here for display lights to light up the whole electrical system, and just overall garage lighting there with another receptacle there. And then you have the nice big heavy duty pull-out drawer slide with some handles, which locks into place. Lots of storage. When it comes to the electrical system used in this, there is a little over 1200 amp hours using a 12 volt SOK heated lithium system. All the other components are Victron. So you got the 3000 watt inverter charger. He actually has 2 Orion 50 amps, the new Orion XS's. And then you have all the distribution, fusing, all of that. We stick to Victron. You have the Serbo with the Touch 70, all the fun stuff. It's been a standard electrical when it comes to components for the past 4 or 5 years. Batteries we always play around with. On the plumbing side in there, we had tight space to work with. It was a lot of work. We made it as clean as possible. You got the drain there, the overflow with the water fill, so you're never gonna spill and come spewing out. It'll just overflow right underneath the van. And then you have the full Rixson system packed in there with the heat exchanger. You got the both mixing valves for the hot water, the heated floors. You have the air handler, the heat exchanger plates, and you have a 27-gallon over-the-wheel well water tank, water pump, accumulator, water filter, all that fun stuff in the plumbing. Again, pretty standard system for us. And that's about it. All right, thank you guys for watching this far. This is probably one of the coolest van builds we have done in collaboration with a good friend of mine, Andy at Overland Interiors. He did all the cabinetry work in this build. We did everything else. Go check him out as well, Andy at Overland Interiors. The Chrome Project is the owner of this van. I'm sure you guys, for watching this video, you've already heard of him. If you haven't, it's plastered on the side of this van. He also owns Van Toys Off-Road for all your van life accessory needs. Let me know down below in the comments essentially your what you think the coolest thing is in this van. There's a lot packed into this van. We're really excited to kind of follow his journey and have him live in this van for another 7 years to go. So if you've watched this far, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we will see you on the next one.